Jane Johnson.
Recording in progress.
Brandon Snell.
Here.
Michael York.
Yeah.
Victoria Ames.
Here.
Selector Ken Colby. Who is it? You won't be okay. It's still his turn. Okay. Ken Colby. Alternate Steve Malone.
Here.
Here. Michael Swanzey alternate. No. Brian Rudell alternate. I will seat Steve for Jane. And let's see. Our agenda this evening: an application of public hearings. Planning Board number 23-020 at the site plan review for Base Hill Road. That has been continued, or they've asked us to continue it until our December 14th meeting. The applicant has done that, so that will probably be continued after motion. Under discussions and other business, we have TC Legacy preliminary review, zoning and solar update. I'm reading for will be doing that, and any other business as may be required. So let's see. First of all, let's go to the approval of the minutes for October 12th. Is there a motion to approve the October 12th minutes?
Make a motion.
Motion by Richard Lane to approve the minutes of October 12th. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Brandon Self. Is there any further discussion? Any discussion on the minutes themselves?
Thank you.
And all those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, and we don't need a regional impact. There's nothing different. So the first thing we need would be a motion to continue the Base Hill Road Planning Board number 23-020 to our December meeting on December 14th.
So moved. At the request.
At the request of the applicant. Yes. Okay, a motion by Steve Malone to continue that agenda item to December 14th. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Richard Lane. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, that brings us down to discussions and other business. That'd be TC Legacy preliminary review. What is that all about?
So TC Legacy has contacted me with interest. This is Chad, who's also the engineer for this project. He would like to do a preliminary review for the project, but he did contact me yesterday and said that he's not able to make the next meeting, and so he'll probably be back at the next meeting. It depends on, obviously, the owners of the property. So it was put on the agenda with the idea that we discuss it, but they're not able to talk tonight. So
we won't be discussing that. Next is zoning and solar update. So we'll move right on to the zoning part of it, and then we'll go to the solar part of it. So let's see. We have, and this is zoning for Village Business District 1. And that's going to be the new zone over in North Swanzey, or actually new area for Village 1 over there in North Swanzey, as well as in West Swanzey here. And let's see, we've gone over pretty much all of it. And the items that are, I can run down the list. Everyone has a list probably. I can run down the list of what's there and what isn't there. The permitted uses are single-family dwelling. This is for this proposal, new Village Business 1, would be a single-family dwelling and two-family dwelling, special exception, and attached accessory dwelling unit. That's permitted. Detached accessory dwelling unit. That's also permitted under special exception. Manufactured housing on individual lots, that will be permitted. Accessory buildings with footprint of 1,000 square feet or greater, or height of 25 feet or more, that would be allowed under a special exception. Next would be bank or financial institution under permitted use.
Point to do that.
The bank? Yeah. I think we were. Anybody else?
I don't recall for certain.
We're pretty sure we took it out because in the packet, like the current packet, it's not there.
Was it not there?
yeah, I
Oh,
thought
this
we
was
did.
the current packet right here.
This is during our discussion on, I believe it was the first meeting in October, the idea was to remove bank and financial.
Yeah.
Okay, taking that out.
So it shouldn't, I believe, on this packet, be on the same page.
It's on mine.
Oh, you have an old packet.
I picked it up from you on
Yeah,
Monday.
you were the first one to pick up a packet.
Okay.
So it must have been the second.
That's all right, I'll just put mine aside. All right, we'll just cross that out. So it's going to be the bank or financial institution.
Steve, is it in your packet?
What page?
Yeah, it's in mine too, and this is the one you just gave me. In the right-hand column. It's over under.
Right.
Oh, whoops, okay.
21,
Right
right
here.
there, yeah, 21.
It's
Yeah,
not-
you've got the right.
Would you like to take my
I've got all my notes on here.
Okay.
So I'll use this one here.
We were
That's
probably
probably
on Monday.
Taking it
It's
on
on Monday, so.
Sticking out on one.
Okay, yeah, you got the new one.
Also, as home occupation and home-based businesses are permitted, and personal service shop or service establishment is permitted, professional business office permitted, restaurant permitted, retail business permitted.
Was retail business also?
Is that one missing from our
Retail business.
retail business
Yeah.
permitted?
Mhm.
Okay. Daycare facility under special exception. And the bed and breakfast facility is permitted with limitations on parking, I believe it is.
Yeah, we should have that in there.
Yeah, it will be in there, I would imagine, it's the line in there for it. Recreational facility conducted as a business only when such activity is conducted indoors, special exception, and accessory uses clearly incidental are permitted. So those are all the permitted uses there, for that village business one. So, in that one, could you bring that up on the screen? Yeah, the map of it there, I've got to just go through some things here.
Which map?
The map that showed, get rid of what's on the screen right there. Oh, yeah, it might have enough underneath there, yeah. it has enough underneath there. So. This is Village 2, right here. This is Village Business District 1. So we're gonna have that over in this area as well. So in this Village 1 right here, all the way up through here on Main Street, there's multifamily Southwest Regional, there's multifamily right across the street from us here, there's multifamily in this part of the lot right there, and there's multifamily right there, Old Mix Restaurant. So those will all be not allowed, they be grandfathered, but they'll be not allowed anymore in that zone, which is not doing a good service to them because they're already there. So I've got a proposal, and this would be to put this area right here in Village Business 2, which does allow the multifamily, and put that one in Village Business 2, and remove that from Village Business at all. That's all residential there, and you can bring up the bigger one there, but it's just all residence right for here, except for that one area right there, which is the Nick's Restaurant, that's multifamily right there. Two families, I don't know, multifamily is any more than,
So something we could do, Scott, another cool tool, we can switch a base map here. We do satellite view. So if you're interested in zooming in on a certain part,
There is a few different multifamily houses down Winchester Street there.
Nick's has a.
Yeah.
They're more than two families, right?
When you say,
Yeah.
when you say multifamily,
Yeah,
are you talking about apartment buildings or?
Apartment buildings, yeah, but multifamily is anything over the, I think it's two.
Yeah.
Three or more. So there are several of them.
there's like 3 of them all,
Yeah.
basically right in a row.
Yeah, let's go back to here then. Yeah, let's go back to that one there.
That's north of the street.
Where we are, you mean?
Yeah, the Wickham Hall's on the left of Main Street.
It is, yeah, it is, and that is Wickham Mall up in there, that's the Main Street, yeah. There's a river, Main Street,
Right
Mall
there,
right in there.
right on the right, not on the blue, not on the blue.
It depends. If you're coming down this way, it's on the right, if you're going that way, it's on the left.
Yeah,
But that is, this whole side of the street there, yeah.
To the north side of Main Street.
It's pulled around, yeah, so, yeah, we're up in here, right there, Wickham Mall is over there.
In that yellow section.
Yes.
If they're grandfathered in, why do you need to change it?
It makes them non-conforming, and anything they want to do, they gotta come to the ZBA for, not a variance, but just to.
But do any of those places have enough land to do any addition?
Because we have the same situation in North Swanzey. We have all those homes non-conforming, and we're not changing that, correct?
they may want to change, you don't know what they're going to change, they may want to change something, they may want to add an apartment, they may want to take an apartment out, like everything you do, put on a deck or whatever you do, you got to go to the ZBA for non-conforming use. And the way to get out of it, in my opinion anyway, is to turn it over to village business two, which allows it. And yeah, I guess we can keep that too, to have multifamily there. And then village business one would be over on that end of town, this would be village business two. And it had taken those areas there, which again, would be our multifamily now, and would remain that way. There's not much else can be done with those properties there. Oh yeah, and there's that one property down in there would be the same thing. Take them out of village business one.
So we're basically doing away with apartment buildings in that district.
No, you're not doing away with them. What you're doing is you're allowing them as they're allowed now.
Yeah, well, yeah, the existing ones can remain,
Yeah,
but new construction of an apartment building is not permitted.
it would be permitted. If multifamily is permitted use, then new construction is permitted. If you have room for it,
Of an apartment building,
of an apartment building, yeah.
like the one by Grimalo's and where I live.
Where in
If you
our
have a
district
piece of
would they
land
be
that
able
you
to
can
fit
fit
something
on
like
there,
that in now? That's
not
what he's
much you can
saying,
fit it on there,
is the
but
light
Yeah, you have
blue
to buy up several
to
properties.
the west of Main Street, which
the
is on the
multifamily
other side of
is
here.
pretty much
The other side of
right
Main
up
Street,
this
you
side
wouldn't be
of
able
the
to
street.
fit any of those Gamarlos apartments over there.
And there's multifamily
You know what I
on
mean?
this
I mean,
side.
unless they bought out the whole block and bulldozed it.
Yeah.
Those aren't, but this side here,
I'm not a fan
they're
of
multifamily up there.
although
That
I
one, and actually that one too.
Isn't that a hypocrite?
And I think that one.
No,
There is
convenient.
room on the other side for, if you wanted to do apartment houses, because Mike Kamala could take on his property.
The other side, where do you,
On the right side there, on North Winchester Street,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, he owns
Yeah,
a piece down in there.
right, but that'd still be a place where he could actually has the land big enough to be putting a apartment building on, like the size of one home.
I don't know, is this his piece here, number 37?
And that's his Hayfield.
I don't know, I thought it was up in here, because Route 10 is up in there somewhere.
I think it's all his property.
It doesn't go all the way to Route 10.
Yeah, but I think that's all of his property,
I can tell you.
I believe. At least he told me that it was, but you don't mind.
So Scott, just for the sake of the minutes, the point of order on the section on Winchester, you suggested that state remain village district one?
Yeah, I guess because of the existing multifamily there, I forgot about there are several of them on this side of Winchester.
So they would,
So we would leave that strip the same as it is now and
This
just,
village district one, and the south section of Main Street would become
Yeah,
village
that looks like his
district two.
Hayfield.
I'm saying
How many
everything
acres
that's in West Swansea that's designated as village business one should just be converted to village two.
All of
The
it.
whole thing, including the mill. And then village one would be North Swansea three, because they
So
don't
you
allow.
put a
it over
sizable
there.
apartment.
Scott? Just looking at the very beginning of the zoning, where we give the purpose and intent of the districts. So I think what you're proposing is that we change the purpose and intent of Village Business District 2, which currently states that it's intended to provide a compact area within which commercial, industrial, and business uses may function, right? So you're saying that now commercial, industrial, business, and multifamily housing, is that, I mean, I think that's what you're saying,
Yeah,
so.
we could change that, or probably should change that, and that was written up specifically for the mill,
Right.
because the mill
Mhm.
trying to figure out what to do with it, and it looks now that it's not gonna be commercial industrial, it looks like it's gonna be housing. So, probably not gonna be that, but anyway, that's what that was written up for, we can change the description of that. I'm just trying to find a way to keep a bunch of properties from being non-conforming, because I don't think it's fair for them to be that way. And if it, we'll say that enough townspeople are against it just because it would make them non-conforming, it's possible that the village could just want to not go through Northmont, because that would be still village. So I'm saying convert it to village two, and then take out some of the uses, actually put some of the uses for special exception, like, Manufacturing facility, make it a special exception. Research and testing labs, special exception. Utility generation, special exception. Your wholesale warehouses and storage facilities, special exception, village 2. That way they'd still be able to do it here, if that happened, but you would, be special exception.
Yeah, for several reasons. I'd like to see apartment buildings very, very limited. And same thing with storage units.
And the apartment buildings that exist now are probably gonna stay there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And there's not a whole heck of a lot of room to put them in. Suppose you've got land there, you could, I don't know about Morello's field, if that's his field or not.
It's just the one.
It's up a little bit.
It's up here, right?
It goes into
There, yeah.
cut in the center.
So you can't go in there, it's pretty low over there, so you can't go in there. These guys are pretty low down the river as well, I'm not sure they could go down there, there are some there. This could be removed from Village 1, because the apartment buildings are on this side of the street. Because it just barely takes out, that must be one of the practices, one right there. This is,
There is one on the right-hand side of that street.
like, more than 2.
Yeah, it's gotta be
The very
number
first one is a
number-
multifamily.
80, number
The one
88,
that's they're trying to fix up still?
or is it 89?
That's a 2-family, it's not multi-family. No, it's 2 pieces. What were you saying?
I think it's either 88 or 89. There's like three apartments, I believe, in that house.
So, again, we can just leave it like that, because right now it's an allowable use. They're in that zone, allowable use. If we change it, none of it will be allowable use. It'll all be non-conforming. I don't think it's a good idea for us to do that.
Yeah, we're trying to reduce non-conforming time now.
But again, what I'm saying is that a way I see anyways to do it is to use the village business 2 in those areas there.
Both sections,
For,
talking about both.
for the entire of West Swansea, that's village business and village business 1, village business 1 and village business 2. I'm suggesting that we just convert it all to village 2. And have a new village 1 over at North Swansea.
Can we show you something else, Scott? Right, so we have. This is what Stefan was able to put together. And do you want to explain how it works?
So, it's kind of hard to tell, but if you look at, also, I don't think it should be Maple Street, it should actually still be a Sweetheart Street, but.
Okay, Maple Street and Village Street right here.
Yeah. So beforehand, I would just also that.
Oh, yeah, so you're trying to define it?
Yes, exactly. And also beforehand, it was this lot that was designated as part of it, but it was actually this lot that was mistake.
Okay.
So I fixed that. And then I also cleaned these up because the line was like halfway through most of these.
Yeah, it is a good idea to clean them up, because you're right, that's the thing in the neck, so. These here, really, you could even step them back, because this is multifamily is there. This is the church, so that probably stands where multifamily is there and there, and multifamily is right there. So this lot doesn't have to be in it, that one does not have to be in it. That is.
Well, we also want spots.
No, we don't, that's the church lot right there, so that is there, but I'm saying you could reduce it to this area right there, and get those out. Those are normal.
I also would want to look at the use of beforehand because some of them are good.
50/50 what?
Yeah, like afterwards business district and honestly half residential.
You mean prior or this map you're showing here? Prior, yeah.
So the point of this bringing us today was to show if you were going to clean up this district so that the village business district 1 only covered only the specific lots and wasn't cutting parcels into pieces, This is how we were proposing it looks. Obviously, I think Scott is right. If we can cut out some parcels to clearly define what uses make sense in the region, that works. But if what Scott is proposing too is something that the board wants to pursue, which is turning this area into village business district 2, the lot that would be included in that as well is this corner right here. That one lot, that is the middle lot.
That's right, yeah.
So that's just another way of looking at, that would be specifically village business district 2. I can go back.
So this lot here, why is that in it, I wonder? That is that house that's right by the parking lot. I'm pretty sure that they had the drainage issues a couple of years ago. And that probably doesn't need to be in it. School isn't in it. But that probably doesn't need to be in it either. That's a small lot there. They're not going to put a whole on that one. So cleaning it up, probably disregard that one as well.
Can you explain again why the one in the lower right is discontiguous?
This one here?
Yeah,
It was showing.
Oh, right, it
that
was a
this
mistake.
a
Got it,
lot.
yeah.
It's actually that.
okay,
That's where the old
Okay.
Fraser's Mill was over there.
okay. So that wouldn't necessarily be part of it
It
either.
would be part of
It
it.
would be,
Yeah,
because
because
there is
it-
multifamily on it?
It's zone, yeah, they could put dwelling units, and they probably would, I would imagine. It's probably gonna go in there. Well, there's Fraser's on this side of the road here, although I don't know what the heck they're doing with that over there. No. And they are not in the zone anyway.
But can we do that, have a lot that's separate from the rest of the zone? Just
Oh, we
freestanding
can,
like that?
We do. It's that way because that was, at the time, that was a manufacturing business there going on, a woodworking business there. Part of Fraser's. They're
And so
operating-
that's not spot zoning, to have just that one spot?
It is spot zoning, but it was for a purpose because when the village business district was put in there, that was operating as a business, so that went along with, that went along with.
Might be a mile what's that now, that's why I stayed cleaned up.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be a business anymore, I don't think, I don't know what it's gonna do.
He hasn't said what his plans are.
My guess is residential, because that's what all these are here.
How big is that lot? Can it be like half an acre maybe?
No, I figured that's gotta be an acre and a half, 2 acres maybe.
It's 2.6.
Yeah.
We could do something.
He has been in the planning office talking about this. The problem is we had it zoned as residential instead of being village business 1, and he couldn't do anything with it. But once we corrected the maps to show that it's supposed to be village business district 1, he started looking at multifamily. But obviously, as we're removing multifamily from village business district 1 and created another.
How do you do it by special exception?
No, we left it out of there completely, didn't we? Yeah, we left it out completely. They could go and get a variance for it. Not allowed at all. No, in the village one.
Oh.
The residents, I think it is, I forget what the density is. But nothing in this one here, mainly because of North Swanzey there, and where this is going, that area there, it could be put back in, but.
So if you leave that one down in the village district 1, then he would do a lot with it other than put a home on.
You could,
He put a 2-family on.
well, no, if you leave it 1 and that passes there, you can't. Because there's no multifamily in village 1, or if it passes. There is now, but if it passes. Yeah, he was gonna put multifamily there, and he got it stuff together and got the approval for it prior to the zone change, and then he spoke for it.
Unless we would change village business district 2.
Yeah, if it goes to 2, then
You could do
it's
it.
not issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be able to put a multifamily there if he did 1.
No. And if we left it, again, if it's 2, it would cover the area that's existing multifamily there, existing multifamily.
And he made his lot there too, also.
Which lot?
Mike's lot down there.
This one?
Yeah.
What about
He made that too
it?
also.
Village 2. Yeah, anything that's village 1, will just go to village 2. That's South Grove, so we were.
Yeah, is there an existing building on the block?
They
Not
used to
anymore.
be.
They tore down, I don't know if the sheds, there used to be storage sheds back there, I don't know if it's still there or not, but the brick building, like,
It was all falling down when I bought it. It was a dump. Just like the one across the street that people live in.
yeah,
It's a fire truck, to tell you the truth.
so that's the proposal, to do that. So-
Yeah. Yeah, that was not correct.
Oh, that's not correct, okay.
It's part of the fixes.
And again, that would remove some of the uses that are allowed in Village 2 and put them under special exception. And again, meaning the manufacturing facility, research and testing lab, utility generation, wholesale warehousing, or storage facilities. So,
There's a water still running with it, down on,
Grove Street?
yeah.
So, what's the verdict? What should we do?
Can you do me a
Think about
big,
that one a little bit.
can you do me a big favor and just read through the ones that the purposes, I just can't keep up with you, the purposes that you're proposing to convert to
Yeah, let me get to.
special exception.
let me
It's on
just
page
get-
32 in the zoning.
So, let's see, the uses in Village Business District 2, yeah. Right now, what you can do with it is a club or a lodge, education, government, or religious facility, indoor auctions, manufacturing facility, I'm suggesting goes to special exception, professional business or corporate offices, personal service shop or service establishment, printing and publishing establishments, recreational facility, research and testing laboratories, on suggestion go to special exception, retail business establishment, telephone and internet sales, utility generation, special exception, wholesale, warehouse, or storage facilities with office, repair, and customer service areas, special exception, accessory uses which are clearly incidental to the uses permitted herein, restaurant, hotel or inn, bank or financial institution, function hall, multifamily dwellings, home occupation, home-based business. If we do this, and the other thing we will need to do is we'll need to bring over the density definition for multifamily from business 1 and put it in business 2, because that carried under both of them. There wasn't a special or a separate density calculation for business 2. It was all the same, so that should be carried over if we're going to do it to business 2. So the density requirement would read as, let's see here. I think it's the 8-unit one there, businesses, here we are. Yeah, multifamily dwellings, this would be carried over. The density requirement for a multifamily dwelling shall be 1 acre for the first dwelling unit and 1/2 acre for each additional dwelling unit, unless connected to public sewer. The maximum density permitted for a multifamily dwelling connected to public sewer shall be 8 units per acre.
And that would be permitted.
That would be the permitted density, unless it's changed to 6 units per acre or whatever. You know, that's.
So do on Village Business District 2, the 8 units per acre, and
Yes.
Village Business District 1, if approved, the 6?
No,
Oh, I'm
none.
sorry, that's
Yeah,
right.
no, so that's the whole thing, we're removing it from Village 1. So it's, we need to accommodate the ones that are there, I think anyways. But yeah, have the density on it, from at least 1, we could go with that.
I think we ought to,
You
yeah.
know,
Who supplies the water for that?
well,
They're all individual wells?
they're all, everybody has, there's no public water up through there at all. The mill has public water there, let's see.
Don't go get it.
If they were ever to take and convert the mill into condos or something like that, they wouldn't be able to do it then, because you're gonna be exceeding what the water company can do now.
They might, yeah, the water comes down here, like this. It serves the mill, it goes around there, but nothing to use over here at all. And it continues down here, so there are a few of these houses here that are on, the school is on it, a few of these houses here are on, not everybody. Down there, then it goes down to every home. So, yeah, that capacity issue I was talking about in the last meeting, what that means is, they don't mean that it's water supply capacity. What that means is it's the tank capacity. They have a 10,000 gallon storage tank over there. So that's the capacity issue. The state has regulations that there are so many users on the system, you have to have so many gallons of capacity. So they're reaching that limit over there, so that's why they're at capacity. They got plenty of water to pump wherever they want to pump over there, but it's that storage capacity. So if someone will say like that and don't want it to go on there, or somebody else, they probably have to kick in some money to the West Swansea Water Company to put another tank in. If they're at capacity, unless they decide that they aren't at capacity.
Can you speak to what's going on at the mill right now? I feel like I don't have a clue.
There's nothing going on there.
Okay.
There's a new owner there. There's been a few on, I think this is the third one. But from what I understand, this owner here, investors, I guess is what they are. They've done this thing before, taken old buildings in Massachusetts, I think. I don't know if any in New Hampshire or not, maybe. Claremont too, they have, okay, so they have converted them. They've done this very same thing, so they intend to do the same thing to that mill down.
Convert it to residential.
To either condos or apartments or a combination of, I don't think they've decided yet, but that's what it's going to do.
I had a chance to tour their condos in Claremont, so up there to do a plan. And there's this market rate condos, X square number of square feet per one of those spaces.
Like the Colony Mill in Keene. right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's what's intended there.
Okay. And does this seem like a likely thing in Swansea? Crystal ball.
Yeah, crystal ball, me would say yes, but that really, like Scott saying, depends solely on what we can do with what's our favorite thing.
Yeah, that too. In a way,
Is it wastewater that's the problem or the domestic water?
both actually. The domestic water is a capacity problem, and wastewater too is a capacity problem. But domestic is a capacity problem just because of the size of the storage tank over here. And the wastewater problem is a capacity problem because the state has put on regulations year after year on all these plants in the town, our town, and everybody's town, actually. And that the design flow of this plant down here is 160,000 gallons a day. So that plant down there is running between 60 and 70,000 gallons a day. So you think you'd have almost 100,000 gallons a day extra free flow there. And you would if you didn't have to treat for phosphorus, and it looks like they may be having to treat for copper, and the PFAS chemicals hasn't come up yet because they haven't found the laboratory to test one yet. But those are all on the horizon. So that limits the capacity of that plant. If you can only treat for phosphorus and meet the, I think it's 1 milligram per liter, which is 1 part per million, for that, at 70,000 gallons a day, then you can't go any more until you figure out how you're going to treat for, say, 100,000 gallons. So that means that's a capacity issue only because of the treatment and these regulations, not because of what the plant can handle gallons-wise.
And solutions, how far on the horizon do you foresee those to be?
Solutions are money. Those are the solutions. You know, there are things that can be done, but it's very expensive to do it. And grants and all those types of things, courses, are put up all the time, and plants can qualify for them. But horizon-wise, let's see, treatment-wise, you'd be looking at probably 5 years, I would guess. My estimation is 5 years probably. They'll be able to do a few things to keep going, but if they're going to be changing the process, this is a lagoon system down here. Keene is an activated sludge plant, and so they can do easily 100,000 gallons a day, more than that. So that's the type of treatment. So if they decide to go with, we'll say, a combination of activated sludge or lagoons down here, then they would have the capacity to do it. But again, that's a lot of money, that's a lot of building, and a lot of time to do it.
But our investors at the mill are going to base their decision on available capacity. So are they're going to sit tight for any other 5 years? Thinking about it?
I don't know. They would probably contest it. They'd get their own engineers Or they may say, well, we'll kick in such and such an amount of dollars to the treatment plant to give us ours. See, the size of that is probably gonna be about the size of probably where Steve lives there. I don't know if that many, 90, that's 90 where you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are 3,000 gallons a day out of each building where you live there. So that'd be at least 3,000 gallons a day out of that one, maybe, depending on how many are there. So they'd have to have an engineer say, well, can you handle 3,000 gallons extra day or not? So that'd be decided there with the engineers. The water capacity, again, same thing, engineers decide. So they may not want to wait 5 years, but they may have an alternative to say, well, we'll do this or that, or, or it can't handle it, or it can't.
That's one reason why the town has refused to buy the Brown Water Company, just because it's gonna take a lot of money. And people will scream about the money.
And because they don't want to pay much for it, probably, the Browns can give it to them.
It needs so much upgrading that it's unbelievable.
So in terms of making planning decisions regarding the mill, we really don't know what's going to be
We should
happening
keep
there.
it village business too, because
Yeah, oh yeah, for
anyone
sure.
who buys it,
Yeah, but my first thought was, well, if residential is going into the mill, as I was surmising you're saying, then it makes sense that we'd have, multifamily in this. I mean, that felt like a compelling reason to make the changes that you're talking about. Not that there aren't other compelling reasons, but that makes sense to me, but we don't really know. We're not going to know for a while.
we won't know. It looks like it's leaning that way, because that's what's happening to all of these buildings like this. They end up being residential. So I suppose if we want to see something go in there, we'll leave that.
That particular one too, I mean, your parking lot is very small, so that's about the only thing that can go in there. Can't be a shopping center really, because it's not the parking.
They've got a lot across the street for parking as well. That one right in the
That's
corner.
only 0.9 acres, that wouldn't be a very big parking lot for a shopping mall.
Oh, no, I'm not saying a shopping lot. I don't think that. I think.
Well, they have turned some of those
Probably
things,
not gonna happen.
they have turned some of those old mills into small shopping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's.
But you need shoppers for that.
It's most likely gonna be residential at
I
some
would
point.
say so, yes.
So, where it's gonna go. But to get back to the zoning change there, should we pursue the village business two in that zone?
I think that makes sense. I
And
really
the
do.
village business
Yeah,
one
I
in
do
North
too.
Swanzey.
Mhm.
That zone.
Yeah.
So then, if that's the case, we probably ought to streamline it a little bit, those lots off that we're talking about there. They don't really need to be in it, that skinny one at the end, or where the mill is, that triangular one there. That doesn't really need to be in it. See, if we're gonna do that, I guess, oh yeah, that's right, Brandon, you said that there's a multifamily somewhere on this side, correct?
Yeah, I believe that there's 3 apartments in there.
All right, so.
There could only possibly be 2, though.
I'll leave it
Yeah, I
as it
think
stands.
you're right, I think it's a yellow whitish house.
It's, next to the Smith's old house, so
Yeah.
Smith's when I was growing up anyway.
So this is, yeah, that's a multifamily too, right there, actually. They're in residential, we don't need to put them back into this district there, so I suppose then leave it exactly as it is, probably remove that lot there, probably remove those lots there, they don't need to be there. These are the multifamilies right here, the southwest is there, multifamily there, and multifamily there. He goes in there and that lot that was way out there, leave that in village two. But also tweaking it, should we bring the density down to 6 units per acre?
I think we should.
I think so too. It's a small area there,
Yep.
It's not very big, so we got to bring the multifamily density description from Village Business 1 and tweak it to allow 8 units six units per acre. Per acre, and use it for Village 2. Also, again, like I said, read down what we're allowing in that too. Should we put anything else on special exceptions? Right now, we have the manufacturing facility, special exception. We have research and testing labs, special exception. Utility generation, special exception. Wholesale warehousing and storage facility, special exception. Again, that was on page 32, starts on 32, and it goes to 33. And so there's a bunch of stuff, and it was put on there, all of these uses were put on there specifically for that mill, because as we don't know now, and we didn't know then what's going into that mill, so it gave them the options to market the place, but it really didn't help them very much.
Do we have the parking capacity for item R, function halls?
If we don't, I mean, it depends how big the function hall is.
Yeah,
But-
I'm just wondering if that should be a
Yeah.
special exception.
I don't know, that's taken care of with the zoning, with the site plan. If it's allowable use of function hall, but they don't have the parking, then they're not gonna be able to do it, or size down that function hall, one or the other.
So here's a concept as well to think about. This lot right here is also owned by them. They're the level out around
Yeah.
the parking. And we'd be concerned about adding that into this area as well, as long. All the same use as what they did.
You're right.
Now.
You're right,
That's
yeah.
true, yeah.
Yeah, because they own that, you're right about that.
What is the future plan for
So,
the school once it's gone?
We don't know yet because it's not, we don't know for probably 2 to 5 years whether we'll be buying it or not. So, yeah.
that's multi-family also.
I believe so.
So
It's
we're
a
gonna add that
complicated
one, we're probably
process.
gonna add that one in there too.
What's below that?
That's the school there.
Yeah.
And the rest is single family on here, probably no.
But I think that Richard's hitting on something. Eventually, the town will probably own that mill eventually. It's gonna be
School
owned.
building?
So we have to look forward to what we want that zone as, what we think could go there, like I'm talking about, I know they're talking at the select board about senior housing or town offices, or they're throwing a lot of ideas out there. So maybe not right now, but we ought to be thinking of how we want that zone.
Yeah, but hold off, I mean, you're saying hold off adding into this zone until
Well,
decide about it, because
they don't know what they want to do with the building yet, even, if they get it. I mean, it's a complicated process to turn the old school building.
the
back
town is
into-
exempt, if the town still owns it, they're exempt if they sell it,
Yeah.
and they're not.
But we have to realize too, it may or may not be sold to the town. It's a complicated process, it's just not slam dunk.
Well, it seems to me that we're trying to do zoning that affects the entire village, community, by parcel. And I don't think,
There's spots on it.
yeah,
Well,
And I don't
it
think
would be
that-
spot zoning if those uses didn't already exist. They already exist, so.
but okay,
we're trying
right
to
now,
get
right now, the
zoning
school is a
there.
school,
Correct.
okay? In 5 years, it may not be. It may not be tomorrow night, it might, God forbid, have a fire. We don't know when, we don't know why, we don't know how. But we are talking about, what are we going to do 5 years from now with that parcel? And that, to me, is spot zoning.
So you're saying do not include it in Village 2?
No, no, because, you're gonna have
So
Joseph
but
and
if we
Joseph
add
and
it
the rainbow colors, or
Yeah.
jacket.
in 5 years, if we add it to Village 2, that won't be spot zoning? But it is this time?
We don't know what it will be in 5 years, what the proposed uses
I know,
are.
but I'm just
But, no,
presenting the question.
The town may be exempted to do what they darn well please, but what if the town doesn't buy it? What if a private person buys it? Then he won't know what he could do with it when he goes to buy it.
Well, he'll know.
He'll know when
he.
he'll know what it is when he buys it,
Or before they buy it.
not yet.
My thought process on this, I don't want to see something like that get put into a situation like Plainview.
Oh, exactly, I agree with that.
If we're in a situation now where we're writing amendments for the business district 1 in North Swanzey, where that wouldn't be allowed if this all passes in March, they wouldn't be able to do that. Excuse me. I wouldn't like to see the town put in a situation where, okay, somebody's bought it in say, April or May, and then we decide, well, we're gonna change the zoning, but they've already come in and they're putting together our
That's what I
stuff,
was getting to,
and we
yeah.
can't do anything about it until March.
I explained that better, that's what I was thinking about too. You explained it a little better.
That piece of property would be prime for a big apartment building because it's town water and sewer.
But we have the density there, so let's see.
Yeah, what is that for acreage?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know exactly where.
What is
Remember,
is it-
Brown Memorial Field's right in back of it, so where is that line?
Well, it showed it right, well, when he had it up a second ago.
Is it? It can't be much more than an acre.
What, that whole building?
1.96.
1.96.
And that's,
Yeah.
that is basically the school itself.
And what are they,
Yeah,
what's
it's
the
a small
size
spot.
of Plainview? 2?
2.5, but that was built before we changed the zone.
That's
Yeah,
why they
so
were
that's
so
what I'm saying.
adamant about going by the
Right.
2020
And we're changing,
regulations.
You know,
and we're changing, we put it, we actually did put it in Village 2, we changed that one to 6. That means they could put almost maybe 12 units in that building if we went to private. Right,
So-
if the town can get it, it's not gonna let it go, the town's gonna get it.
So if it remained in residential, they could still put multifamily in there,
Yeah.
but it'd be 6 units, just as we've changed the density
Right, so
to.
the most it would be 12.
yeah, the
No,
vertical-
6.
And the vertical would
6,
be
because
what?
1.96, they could probably get a special exception for that.
It's 3 units per acre, and in multifamily, it's 3 units per acre in a residential district.
Yeah.
And they're in residential right now, so it'd be 6 units. Village 2 is gonna be the same thing, 6 units. Now, that might cause a problem with the mill there, because there's probably gonna be more than 6 units in there. But they can do a variance, because I'm sure they get one. Because they get.
Do condos or something.
Yeah, but I think we should keep it at 6, but I'm just saying that it's not gonna matter density-wise if it stays in residential, or if it goes to Village 2, and it's gonna be residential, because it's gonna be the same number of units per lot. I mean, for those 2 acres.
For that, yeah.
Yeah, so Plainview can't have
But
it.
you're taking your head for it.
I'm shaking my head because it's 6 per acre in what you're proposing for Village Business 2, and this is more than
Oh,
one
yeah,
acre.
you're right.
So it's not gonna be 6,
You're
it's
right.
gonna be 9 or 12 or something like
Maybe
that.
12.
Yeah.
Because
you're right.
1.96, I'm
Right.
sure they get a small variance with that 0.4 acre.
But I mean, he's right about that school land that we're just talking
Right,
about.
that's what I'm saying too. That's what I was thinking. You were saying 6, and I was thinking, I thought it was 12, because it's almost 2 acres, just short of it. So it'd be 12 units.
So if it stays in residential, it's the 6. And if it goes to the Village 2, like you pointed out, it's the,
It's close to 12.
I'd leave it residential.
That way you're protecting the town.
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully the town buys it, because we could use it.
All they need is water and sewer. And
That's what they have.
That's got
Yeah.
So what about going back to the parking lot here, so what about this lot? And the other question I have too is, on the previous zoning map, it shows this small sliver of Village Business 1 here. You'll notice it's overlaid right here onto this particular roadway. I don't know if that's supposed to include these parcels or not. So do we want to include these in the Village Business 2 that we're proposing, and do we want to include this? So it's just,
The parking lot, I think, should, there's Village District 2 to go with the mill.
I would tend to agree, but my concern that we also create by doing this, is that we now have a sliver of residents who are right along the side here. So it depends on how we want to address that. We know that this line here is drawn based off of a distance off of Route 10. It's X number of feet from here to there. So there will be some parcels that are cut along here. We know it's going to happen. It's going to have to happen. But
This is old. That sliver wouldn't be above California,
yes,
except for that last lot, 82.
correct. Because we would cover this.
Yeah.
And this is all one lot.
Mhm.
This one would still be there. This one would still be there.
I think it's just 82.
So we could check it out. Yeah, you'll notice that this one. So just wanted to point that out there.
But that piece right there, the mill piece we're talking about, which is for their extended parking, right, that's what they were, is that, I think, number 24 right there? So if that goes for Village Business 2, then there are a lot more uses that can be put on there other than what's allowed now, if that doesn't go for parking. It can stay residential and still serve as overflow parking for that, I would think.
So just leave it
It
then?
doesn't have to be with the Village 2. It can be, but it doesn't have to be with Village 2, because again, if they want to put something other than parking on there, yeah, they probably have to do something, right? But they probably aren't. Probably it's gonna be for overflow parking for
They're
that
gonna leave
building.
the parking if they put a condos or something up there, they're gonna leave some place to park. I would think.
So,
I would say leave it
How
as
does
a,
the board want to address separate lots, primary use being parking for another lot? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I look, it's not allowed to use, you know,
That's
it's
what's wondering.
listed as a use in there.
So they would have to, in my mind, they would have to then merge those lots, and so even though it crosses the road, it would still be one lot, and then you do it.
And they probably have to anyways, because Village 2 doesn't allow a separate parking area either for, as a use. But none of them do,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
they have to do the same thing, which they can do
Either way, right? Which would make it, if they merge the lots, what occurs, so we're judging this based off of the lot, that's what we're filling these particular zones. If they merge lots, one that's residential and one's that village business 2,
Mhm.
what becomes of that merged lot, which one?
It's the 30-foot rule, right? 30-foot, more restrictive can go into the less restrictive zone, 30 feet. But again, the parking is not one of those uses things, it's not, they probably have to go do a variance for that, the satellite parking, but
do
again,
we,
would not, that's what it's there for, and it probably would not be a big problem to get.
do we have a provision in the code for off-site parking?
No,
Perhaps we should to address that situation.
no, perhaps we shouldn't, leave it for a variance, that's what variances are for. I
Okay.
mean, they wouldn't have trouble getting variance for overflow parking, if they need it, putting it in there, I don't see that those guys wouldn't give them a variance for that.
Sensible.
Leave it?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So Julie has also brought up about that little skinny strip there that would resolve what was going on back here with this, or that isn't there. Stefan, that isn't there, or is there, or that little blue strip right there?
That should not be there.
Okay,
And it's
so that
not.
won't be there. So we'll leave these lots out of it, like they are out of it now, they're residential now, keep them the same way. So, let's see. Recap, so we've kind of nailed it down that Stefan's gonna work on shrinking that zone, which is now Village 1, and it's going to turn into Village 2 with the current uses for Village 2, but to be tweaked with the special exceptions that we talked about there.
Mhm.
Taking some of it out of a use outright and putting it into special exceptions. I think that's how we have left it.
Yeah.
So then the Village Business 1 that we're talking about here, or that we just read before there, would be for North Swansea with all those uses tied right to it down that strip, 32. Seem like a starter?
Yeah, I think that's a good solution.
Okay,
Yep.
let's move on to solar. Are we all done discussing this?
How about all these amendments?
The amendments, what are the amendments? Well, these are the wording, those are the wording, I think just the description of the wording, the zoning there. Did you see something in there that isn't quite right?
Well, yeah, a couple of things that I just kind of discussed yesterday with Julius. On number 7, amendment 7.
Number 7. It says adopts within the business district permitted uses, 1-family, 2-family dwelling conversions that do not change the footprint of the existing 1-family dwelling are considered a permitted use in the business district, as well as retail electric vehicle charging station. Okay, so what?
That last part, the retail electric charging station. Then we turn around and Amendment 9, we'd use the same thing.
But those are for 2 different zones. One of them is commercial and industrial. We have to list them separately. If we're changing anything, this amendment number 7 deals with business district as an allowable use. So then we go to commercial industrial and put it as an allowable use there as well.
Agreed, but I'm trying to recall that we actually discussed under Amendment 7, having the electric charging station in the business district 1.
Business 1, I don't think that
Because-
happens in business 1, do we? Village, that's village business 1, I don't know that we, spoken of that. I think we just said business and commercial, and it was an allowable use. If they want to put them in, fine, but we weren't going to force them to put them in.
Okay, so in business district 1, we're not putting it in, it's only in the business district.
Business and commercial.
Okay, so let's say adopt within business district 2, or how are we going to not have that in business district 1?
It's just not listed as a use. So that automatically says that it's not a use, that it's not going to be in there as an allowable use.
Okay. As long as.
Do you want to put it in there?
I don't.
Okay.
No,
so it won't-
I don't think it belongs in that.
If it's not listed in there, anything in any of our zoning at all, if it's not listed as an allowable use or a special exception, then it can't be done without variance.
And then looking at Amendment 10.
Let's see, move the description, oh yeah, village business 2, that's just the clerical part of it there, because it was,
I cannot understand what we're saying there.
okay,
It's
let
like,
me- I want to show you what, I want to show you what we're saying.
Penetrating lead.
I want to show you what
Trying
we're
to
saying
figure
here.
this out.
Okay, this is on page 2 of our zoning, that's zoning districts and zoning maps, it describes them all, rural ag, residential, then it goes to village business district 1 on page 2.
We'll get there.
Okay, so it goes right from the districts and it names them, rural ag, residence, village 1,
Mhm.
business district, commercial industrial, then shoreline protection. And then you get way down here to number 11 on page 3, and it goes back to village business district 2.
Mhm.
So we just want to put village business district right with business district, or right in there, so it follows right down through. You got your residence, then you go to village business, then you go to business, then you go to, I think it's going to go right after that, village 2. So all it does is move this paragraph right here, description, that's all it is. It doesn't have to happen. All it does is move that
Just puts them in the same
to here.
location.
Puts it so you can read easier to
Yeah.
understand.
As a voter going into a booth and looking at that,
You aren't gonna.
what the hell am I
You're gonna say, what
voting?
the heck are they doing?
Yeah, what am I doing?
But then you read down further and it says recommended by the planning board. And you say,
Yeah.
okay, that's for me.
Yeah, I'm going blind. I just think that, I'm wondering if we could be a little more informative,
As to what it does, let's see,
you know, for the voter. So,
Would it be helpful if so this portion right here will be what goes within the actual ballot? Whenever we do the voter's guide, I could put a little bit more of analysis that explains why I'm doing that.
Just to clean it up a little bit, right?
just to say,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
clerical
It's a housekeeping thing.
move, yeah, housekeeping,
Yeah.
fine, and just moving it from one part of the zoning to the other. We're not changing anything, just moving it from one page to keeping all the
Grouping
village
it together.
descriptions.
We're putting it on page 2 instead of page 3.
Yeah, something like that.
Richard, when I draft that up, I'll ask you to take a look at it.
that may not be helpful.
So I've already submitted some grammatical edits. Just, I don't know if we don't really need to go through and do it. It's just
Yeah, I
sentence
think-
structure and, yeah.
Okay.
English teacher stuff.
One thing on Amendment 5, though, it says removes within village business district 1, the uses permitted by special exception, and it lists them all, gasoline stations, repair garage, or body shop, blah, 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 all the way down through. But it also removes nursing home, club or lodge, and hotel and motel from the regular uses. Those are just the special exception uses, but it removes those regular permitted uses as well.
That's Amendment 4,
Oh, that's number 4? Let me
Yeah.
take a look. Good. Let's see.
because I separated
Okay, you got it.
permitted from.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yep, it's in there. Perfect.
I have a question. Should it be left as something people should go for variance for? For example, if one of the multifamilies in Village Business District 1, like within the confines of their site, wanted to put like an EV charger, that should be left as a variance?
For personal use,
No, like for the.
commercial use?
Yeah.
I'm not in favor of that. I think if for personal use, if you have not a two-family, well, an apartment, a two-family, because the old Wilbur's store there on 32 is multi. And if you had something like that on the back,
Yeah.
so that, that's fine. To me, that's within the use, a permitted use. But something that, we say to the front or, more than one unit or two unit, commercial. And I wouldn't be in favor of something like that.
So they can still go for a variance, is what he was asking, which they can, we'll just leave it out as a use. If they really want to do it, they can go to the ZBA for a variance, which is kind of difficult to get, and probably maybe in that case.
So if I may ask for a little bit of clarity about the terminology of retail electric vehicle charging stations. So in that scenario, then, if one of these multifamily housing units wants to put up charging stations, if it was only servicing those residents, then it's an allowable use. If it's not serving those residents, it's intended for other users, that's what the variance, is that correct? Or am I?
You're saying, but you're trying to clarify a use that isn't in there.
Yeah, yes, I'm trying to clarify the retail electric service, it says specifically retail.
It does retail, so yeah, it's for profit, obviously, that's what we pay for the electricity there. So I see what you're saying is that if it wasn't retail, but somebody's gonna pay for that electricity, so it's gonna be retail, somebody's gonna be charged for it.
Argument's sake, I think this is what you're saying. I live in an apartment building. We don't have electric chargers. If they want to put in one or two electric chargers for residents only, you're saying that would be,
That I'm saying, would that, I'm asking.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, as we drafted kind of here right now, that means they would have to get a variance for that. Is kind of how we portray that. Is that fair to that company to do such?
I think it's fair for the time being, if we get a lot of them looking for variances, then the zoning can be changed, and okay, it's allowable use, it's popular or something, but for now.
I don't see person doing it.
Would that require a site plan modification if they did?
It would.
And the company, whoever puts it in, can key card it to a resident.
Yeah.
So no one else would be able to use it, which would control it that way.
But for now, probably ought to just leave it out and see what happens.
It's not a problem, don't create it.
Okay, what else? We've gone, is that everything on the paper part of the amendments you had, Richard?
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody else on that before we move to solar? Nothing else on that?
So this is just a question, I guess, for typical order. I had a chance to talk to Michael about this, but whenever we go to the ballot, each one of these amendments is going to be included as their own, section to be voted on individually. So right now, we're looking at 11. Once we tack on whatever changes we're doing to Village Business District 2, we're looking at something close to maybe 15.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot.
There's a lot there. Are you saying maybe we could look at it and take some of these out? Are you asking
Or
that?
combine them.
You can't combine them, they have to be.
They have to be separate.
So I think it's okay, really what I'm asking or kind of alluding to is the next topic is solar. Do we want to sit on solar for another year?
I think we should.
Yeah.
We should discuss it, but we probably ought to sit on it because you're right.
Keep it off the ballot.
Yeah.
Try and set up a schedule of when we'll review it and start the process of putting it into an amendment or something.
For possibly 2025.
And so for West Swanzey Solar, we ended up requiring a variance and a site plan, is that correct?
For down here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, variance. We did do a site plan there, but they had to get the variance.
So I'm thinking I've had some people ask me for within the industrial district if they could put solar there. And so if they're gonna wait until next year, with the way this ordinance is drafted now, if we push that forward, it was allowable for the industrial district. Now we could change that, of course, but it's much easier is what I'm saying. So kind of think of that as we're pushing this off another year, we're pushing off solar as an easier application. If we're okay with that, then we're going to this year doing stuff, but
We expect a lot of solar applications this coming
I've
year.
only got one, so
So
that I know.
let's put it on, I'm fine with putting it off, but I think in that regard, the variance is there, and it worked once, it'll work again if it really needs to.
What about village business too? Because that will likely bring us up to like 14, 13 maybe, possibly 15.
That's what Julius was just saying,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, that's without the solar ordinance, or sorry,
Yeah,
with the solar
we're
ordinance.
saying not doing the solar ordinance just because of that.
Yeah, but like typically I've seen like towns and cities will stick to like 6 or 7. So like we're looking at like 13,
Yeah, we're looking
14.
at a lot.
We're getting a lot of pushback if we do.
We could look at the list and see if we can remove something from
Do
there.
other commissions or boards, are they also proposing amendments to their areas?
There will be a lot, there's a lot of warrants this year, from not just the select board, well, yeah, the select board, but a lot of people are asking for changes.
Yeah, you're gonna see the fire station, you're gonna see a fire truck, you're gonna see police cruisers, you're gonna see a lot.
We
You
get
could
rid
be
of
looking
10.
at 20, 25
Yeah,
amendments.
maybe move that to next year.
Let's get rid of amendment number 10, cross that one off of there, let's see. And, you know, we've got the amendment about removing from the business district the special exception of self-storage facility. We could forego that and cut that one off of there. I don't know yet, we're just discussing it because 8 and 9 deal with, 8 deals with the self-storage facility as a special exception in business district.
I don't think you want to get rid of 10.
Why not get rid of 10? That was just a
That's just that housekeeping one,
clerical
remember?
housekeeping thing, yeah. Just move, we can leave it there in the zoning.
We
move
can
it
always do
another
that a
time.
different year.
I think we should consider keeping A's.
Keeping it in there,
We have a lot of pressure for self-storage, and
yeah.
Mhm.
And we could leave off of, we could scrap number 9. That's about the retail electric vehicle charging station as an allowable use in the commercial and industrial. Because we probably aren't having a whole heck of a lot coming up in there anyway. Business maybe, but not commercial and industrial.
so I don't think that's true. And I say that because a lot of the dealerships that might be along some strips are basically being pressured from basically whatever company owns them to install those electric vehicle charging stations.
Oh, yeah, they totally are.
So.
At the dealerships you're talking about?
Are they in commercial and industrial though? Aren't they in business out there?
I'm thinking 12, isn't that?
Yeah.
Number 12.
Isn't that
And
business?
I'm not forward, and the Nissan and Honda.
Bring it right up there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's all business over there.
Yeah,
That's a big one, yeah,
Mhm.
all over there on Route 12.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's no commercial industrial over there.
There's no business.
So we could still leave it off of number 9, because commercial industrial is out here on Route 10, which probably nothing going up there for a while. So
Sure,
again,
let's
we
get
can
rid
add
of
it
that.
into the next year, but we're just trying to limit it a little bit to make it easier to keep the mic off our back. So, that's what we want.
Being so busy, so diligent.
Let's see, 8 in there, let's see, amendment 7, talking about 1 family, 2 family rooms as a right. Now, that came from, what, that came from some sort of a decision in the state?
Yeah, so legally we have to.
Yeah, so that's what I want. So, let's see. Going to the bottom up, and number 6, remove within villages, which is one, the use permitted by such exception of multi-family dwellings, and we have to have that on there because that's moving over there. So, number 5, and yeah, we gotta leave that on there. They all pertain to the same one. Unfortunately, they have to be separate, but they pertain to that same. Number 4, yeah, we have to have that on there. And then 3, have to have that on there.
I think-
2.
I think 5 and 6 I might be able to combine, because it is.
Oh, okay,
Special
yeah,
exceptions.
good idea, you're right, yeah, and it pertains to uses. And it's,
So that's
Although-
6.
no, wait a minute, I don't know that you can, because special exceptions are after the permitted uses, they're mentioned, in all of our zoning. It's another little, it's another little paragraph under there that says, aside from these uses, these 101s here, I mean, these ones underneath are permitted with special exception. I think it kind of has to be separate there. I don't know, what do you think, Julia?
Yeah, I tend to believe that they should be separate.
Let's leave them there. We'll have a long list anyways, but let's leave those just to keep them separate there. Let's see. Amendment number 2, rear lots. That's another thing that came down from the state. Is it number 2?
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. What was amendment 1? The description. We could leave.
Isn't that redundant?
So if those amendments that came down from the state, that the state's forcing us to do, how come we have to put them on the ballot to have people pretend to vote for something that's a guaranteed, that's going in there anyway?
It's a good question.
You know?
And you have to do it though, because otherwise our zoning ordinance isn't in compliance with the state. Otherwise,
Well,
we're restricting.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why can't you just add those state mandated things in there automatically without having it on the ballot? If people voting for it is obsolete anyway, it doesn't matter if it gets shut down or not, it's still getting in, going into our rules and regulations.
Yeah, but then you have our rules and state rules that don't match.
You know, the town has to vote for their own. They have the authority through that blue book right there to vote for their own zoning amendments. And even if they turn it down and the state still requires it, the town says, no, you can't have that. And the state says, yes, you can. They go to court and they get the permit anyways. But the town has the right to vote it down. So it's got to stay in.
It just makes it about to go one more step.
Well, if the town votes it down.
Right.
So. Amendment 1.
I was gonna say, so what we can do then is, Paul and I can take this, we already sent a draft of this to the attorney, but because we're doing business 2 as well, we can send it to him and say, we're doing consensus as much as possible, and we can bring that back.
Good.
Yep.
So it stays, amendment 1 stays because it has to be in there to change. So, yeah, we can cut 2 off of there.
So, yeah.
You know, we're getting.
Mark, did you have anything to put?
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you could group it's Jay, by the way, not
Jay,
Mark.
I'm sorry.
But if you wanted to group all the village District 1 things, and the following are all related to the changes made in Village District 1.
Yeah.
The following Village District 2, and maybe there was a box to vote for all at once, or individually, either way. If there was some way that people could choose to vote for all of them at once, that would make it simple for them.
I don't think you can do that kind of.
But I don't sure you can do that, but at least you could visually group them.
Yeah, you can group them at least, so it's better, easier to understand anyways, that the
Right.
following have to.
They're all
So,
related to
yeah.
this one change.
So that'll make it a little bit better, that's a good idea.
Straight party, one letter, remember?
It's voting for people though.
No, all the people in the Republican
That's
side
right.
just pulled the title and everything up.
Done, I'm out of here.
Unfortunately, we can't do that anymore.
Okay.
Do you want to take a look at the language for West Swanzey's, is it supposed to come?
Well, I mean, now it's obsolete.
Yeah, it is obsolete, right? Please redo it and leave out some of those lots we're talking about there.
Ooh, can you specify again exactly which lots?
Now, let's see, if we can get that back again here. If I leave mine out, I wouldn't correct me on that. So, yeah, I wrote that.
Slide to the right.
So I'm gonna track that.
So let's see, it's gonna be down here.
Yeah.
Leaving out, looks like lot number 61 and lot number 60. Lot number 68. The rest stays there, yeah, the rest stays there. We're eliminating lot number 3. And the rest stays the same, that's not gonna be there, the rest stays the same. Anything else on that? We might as well discuss solar, just briefly.
Oh, we can discuss it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna have it in this, but we're probably gonna go on with solar for a while, just to see which direction we're going in with this here, because I had some comments on it. Again, and the rest of you probably do as well. And we're talking about, this is on use definitions there. You know, we have the accessory solar, which,
It's not in the packet.
It's not this one.
well, we didn't, get in that back, oh, yeah, this is from the old back, okay, nobody has it, you want me to just read it?
I can also fill.
Or just not discuss it?
Or not discuss
I
it,
didn't put it in.
unless other people want to.
Yeah, we could just not discuss it, because we aren't gonna put it on anyway, so let's move on to other business. Let's see here, I think that was it, for that part.
I don't know.
No, but,
I don't know if we can, if I'm allowed to mention this or not. And this isn't about the base hill.
go ahead.
But, looking at the subdivision.
Yep.
That the retention pond for the new part is in the old lot.
One of them, yeah, they have two retention ponds, one of them is in, yeah, one of them is over there, yeah.
They have to have,
They did a deed, right of way, or not right of way, easement, yeah, they did a deed easement on it.
they did get it.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was the question I had about
Yeah,
that.
so they did.
When does that come through?
I don't think it's been finalized yet, it's gonna be whenever they, separate the lots. Which
Where is that?
they haven't done yet, it's more than this finish.
What are they waiting on exactly? Can I ask that? Are they waiting for the traffic study still?
ZBA, yeah, right,
Oh,
on that.
Oh, that's right.
It's wait to see the ZBA's gonna go like that to us.
Did we ever hear from the city of Keene on the,
We did, and they said that it was okay, you know, didn't they? Pretty much is what they said, well, yeah, so
Okay.
thanks for inviting us, but yeah, I guess it's.
They said they had concerns, and then I reached out to the planning office,
Yeah.
and the planning office said, well, the public works director told us they had concerns. And I said, could you get those in words, and then he said it was kind of conjecture.
okay.
So it was,
So the fellow who showed up at the, Mr. Rounds, he didn't,
nothing.
okay.
And the new traffic study has been done?
Yeah, so they did another traffic study, which was submitted at the last planning board meeting, but they noticed that they used the wrong use code. So they went back and asked for the company to read it. I haven't received the new version of the new use code. They submitted to us, they also have another project going in doing maps as well, and so they gave us the newer maps.
Sneak them by.
They're using the same book anyway. Any other business?
So,
Discuss?
public hearing date for zoning.
Okay.
Let's set that, if it's okay with the board, I would like to set that for the first meeting in December, with the idea that if everything's all set, no concerns, then we can put it there, but if not, that way we can continue either to the second meeting in December, or we can do it the first week of January. moving on.
So this is our last look, because we don't have a, oh no,
We will.
we have
December
one meeting in
The
November.
14th
Okay,
and the 28th.
December 14th, and
okay.
then they'll give us a chance in case we need to do some
Sweet.
revising there.
Yeah,
Do you know what the current meeting is that we have to have it in?
for which one?
For the zoning amendments?
Yeah, for the select board?
Well, do we have to, we accessory for the select board to put it on the warrant?
Yeah, right, so that is the second week in January.
It doesn't have to be done for the deliberative session, because that doesn't come up with the deliberative.
Right. Yeah, I think the RSA still states that it has to be given or delivered to the select board by that second week. That's why we can do it that second week in January, because that's our deadline.
Okay, so that's gonna be the public meeting?
Yes, that's the public hearing,
We're gonna have the continuation of Base Hill
that same day.
that
Yes.
same day. I'm just wondering, what the order of which we want to do this. We definitely have to have the zoning thing, right? Would we want to do that first, or does that,
I would say so.
you have to try and get through
I would
that?
say we ought to do Base Hill first. I don't think the zoning's gonna take that long. We've.
Right, that's why I'm saying do the zoning first. Probably very few people, Jay and maybe a couple other people will show up, and that's it. And we've been working with them, so they know what we're doing, they're gonna look at it and say, okay, we read it, I hope. And we can get rid of that real quick, because we know Base Hill might take a little time.
Yeah, and if people here for the zoning either way.
So we'll get the zoning in.
Either way.
And then if we have to continue to base hill again. Well, at least have the zoning map.
I'll go with that.
I think we're getting close to a terminal base hill. And
But
I think we can ask for, and probably be granted a continuance if we needed to do it.
Yeah, but they only did the continuance.
The ball's in their court. I mean,
Right,
they
but
can agree.
we're still on a clock, I believe, aren't we?
We are, but, you know, that's to restrict the planning board, that's not to restrict the applicant. The applicant-
Excuse me.
So the applicant, you know, he's been the one continuing as just brought up there.
Right.
And I don't see any reason why they wouldn't object to continuing, you know, the deadline even
If they
more.
want to go forward.
Yeah, so that shouldn't be a problem there.
I don't know how much more we have to iron out on that project now.
But we'll have to do it formally. With a letter from those guys. When we get to our deadline, or close to the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, I have any emails with it, I had to bring them to me during the meetings in case we need to see them, but technically, that meeting in December would be day 91, and they have 95 days, because of this team's vision of that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes. Okay, any other business this evening? No? Okay.
Just your observing also.
Yep. Then, motion to adjourn would be in order.
I'll second.
Motion to.
Third.
I had to do it so Jane wasn't here.
Adjourn by Michael York, with a second by Steve Malone. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please give it a aye.
Aye.
Opposed?